Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Guns Explained. I'm Mason White, playing host today, as our full-time host, Cameron Porter, is out with a brand new child right now. And we're on today with Sheriff Richardson of Davis County Sheriff's Office, talking about CCWs and gun control and how that affects crime rates, or if it does. So thanks again for being on with us, Sheriff Richardson.
You're very welcome.
By the way. So first question is, we did a little bit of research about gun permits, concealed carry permits going skyrocketing between 2007 and 2014 in the purchase of firearms, and then murder rates actually going down at all. And do you think that has there's a link between concealed permits and crime rates going down, or do you think it's something else?
Well, there's been no real studies that validate there is a reduction directly due to concealed weapons permits put out there. But there are some valid things that are going on in the nation right now that would indicate why we bottomed out on our homicide rates and are now getting more and more. They're increasing exponentially. So. Okay.
So do you don't think it's like necessarily concealed permits? Do you think it's more of like a law enforcement?
Yeah, I think that generally speaking, concealed weapons permit is more of a political statement in nature, and so the amount of gun permits, concealed weapons permit, is basically as to who's in charge on a federal level. When homicide rates are more active to how much restraint or how much control you put on law enforcement. You restrict law enforcement in what they do, and you're going to see corresponding levels increase in homicides and petty crimes, burglaries, things like that.
So gun control isn't necessarily solving the problem. Like if it comes to crime rates, like controlling firearms isn't going to deter criminals, basically.
No, and the only thing it will do, it would ensure an individual that he has a means to protect themselves, obviously, if a crime did happen to him.
Right. It's nice to have the last line of defense.
Right.
You hope you don't get there where you have to use a concealed weapon, but
right.
It is reassuring to have that in case a scenario arises. But as far as like an individual, like your law-abiding citizen wants to purchase a firearm or go about getting a firearm, do you think it's important if they don't have any technical training or familiarization that they go through the concealed permit class or some sort of training?
I absolutely believe that if you're going to own a weapon, if you're going to make that a responsibility that you want to take as a constitutional right, it stands to reason that you're going to educate yourself on the firearm that you own, on the laws that govern the ownership and the use of a firearm, and making it so that if the time ever came that you had to use that firearm, you would be functional and be able to operate it properly.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And so what steps would you recommend someone that's like maybe doesn't have too much training on a firearm that kind of wants to maybe purchase one to have as some last line defense, maybe if they just start a family or anything like that? Would you just recommend doing research or going to a class?
It's a personal thing as to what you're going to buy and what you're going to use. We've got people here still that work in the sheriff's office that absolutely love and stand by the old revolvers, and then you have the new autos that are out there. What brand name auto that you want to buy, whether it be a Glock or the old 1911 platform, anything that you use. What really makes a difference is that you're proficient with your firearm, and that comes to play as to the quality is generally there across the board, but it's how you apply that quality that matters.
Well, thanks. I didn't really think about it that way. It's like crime rates and concealed weapons permits, like how they tie in hand, but it does make sense that it's kind of how we govern the issue as a whole. So, well, thanks again for being on, Sheriff, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Guns Explained. Be sure to like us on Facebook as well as Patreon.com, and we do thank anybody who does support us on Patreon.com and keep Guns Explained going. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode.
That episode rocked. If you want to rock too, like our Facebook page. and subscribe on Patreon to help support more episodes. Have a good day.